This one concept from the book Reality Transurfing is probably keeping you back from the reality and the dreams in which you're going after. Keep watching this video to understand what it is and how you can apply it into your life and into your goals. Hey, what's up? This is Jeremy from whatupjeremy.com, and on this channel we help you to live the dream and make a profitable living doing what you love. And I am one of those people who has been continuously trying to find resources and trying to not necessarily shortcut my way, but to go to the path of least resistance in my life, the things that are most important. And one of those resources I found along the way that we talk regularly about on this channel is a book called Reality Transurfing. There's a card that will pop up here and a link in the description for you to check it out. This is a book that describes some concepts for the law of attraction in ways I've never seen. It kind of goes more into the quantum physics side of manifestation and how our thoughts interact with the energy field that we're a part of to bring those things to or away from us. And all of us have probably experienced a situation where something was just so significant to us that we didn't know what to do with it. The best experiences I have is when you really like a girl or a guy and you talk about them a lot, you think about them a lot, they become very important in your mind, and when they're around you get nervous, your heart starts to beat. When you hear that they're coming, they're like, you know what I'm saying, you start to get kind of frantic. And this concept that we're talking about inside of here is making things less important or less significant. In the book Reality Transurfing, it uses this term of importance, and it uses it in a different way than I think a modern English language kind of uses it in American culture. And in it, it talks about just putting something up on a pedestal that it becomes so significant to you and so important that you start to mess things up when it's around. And it's equivalent, the perfect analogy that the author Vadim Zeland uses inside of the book is the beach ball in water. So if you can imagine you're in a pool or you're in a large body of water of sorts, and there's a beach ball in front of you, and that's your goal, that's your visualization, or that's the thing that's super important to you. That's the girl, the boy, that's the money, that's the cars, that's whatever you're going after, right? Whatever your goal is. You see your goal, you get super excited, what do? You start to swim super fast towards it. And in that process, you start to move the water around and you start to kind of end up pushing the ball further out in front of you because you're going so fast at it. And you feel like you're in control, you're gonna go and get your thing. But if you looked at yourself from the outside looking into the pool, what you would see is somebody who's just frantic and, in reality transurfing, terms in this analogy, slapping their hands on the water. You're slapping your hands on the water. You're just making a mess. And so what you should do in that moment is kind of let go. Succumb to the water, because the water's actually in control, right? So succumb to the water, let it go, breathe, you'll float, and you'll be in place, so to say. And to calmly swim over to that beach ball. Calmly use the water to calmly go over. And even as you start to approach it, no matter how slow you're gonna go, you know that the ball is going to bob just a little bit because water moves and water flows. You compensate for that and you slowly grab what's rightfully yours instead of being frantic and making a mess out of it. And so we all have our own examples of how this has happened in our lives and how this is currently happening in our lives. And what I want to do is to really zero in on things that you can do to eliminate or to minimize that importance. Vadim explains that importance can't ever be completely removed, but it can be minimized. And there are things that you can do so that when those important moments are happening in front of you, those significant moments, that you're able to hold your composure in such a way where you can better observe the flow of events going on in front of you and better prepare yourself for them. Where it all starts is when you're setting your goal. We're going to use this in terms of goal setting and reality transurfing. It talks about the target slide, but we're going to use this in terms of setting your goal. This is where the minimizing of importance actually starts. And for some of you, you might be actually writing out your goal or, really crafting a plan. And this is where you can, very cognitively stop and minimize the importance a little bit. We're going to talk about how to do that. But for all of us, there are many moments in our days and life where we are going about it and making a decision or making something important. And these things apply directly to that too. This is actually, from what I've come to see it as, is a way of living. It's a way of life. It's a way of being, so that all of the things that you're wanting flow quickly and smoothly your way with the least amount of turbulence in the process. And so there are these micro moments that this applies to. That micro moment might be like food is still important for me. I used to be overweight, if you didn't know. And so I really love food. You want to get me talking for hours? Let's talk about food, okay? So when I get hungry and it's time for me to eat, I want to just get it over with, but I also like want a specific place. And so if there's a group discussion, like I can get really frustrated with that because like I just want to eat. It kind of becomes this important thing, and sometimes it can become a mess. I'll be honest with you. And so in those moments, you can also use some of these tools to lower that importance. Again, it's a way of living, it's a way of being. And here's what it comes down to. What it comes down to is looking at this goal and treating it, whether it's like the food in this little silly example that I gave you, or if it's something bigger, and treating it like it's just another day. It's crafting your goal or your vision in such a way that it becomes every day to you. So when you're goal setting, the first time you write down a goal or think of it, you're probably going to be super excited. The 1,000th time you do that, you might be a little less excited. And the point is to get to that point where your goal accomplishment and the seeing of success of it is something that just feels every day for you. You just go about it. And you just expect it. You expect good things to happen, and you expect the exact experience and scenario that you're wanting to happen as well. And you carry yourself in a way that it just happens. That's just life. Yep. Good things always happen. You're humble about it. It's this way, this calmness that you go about this. Because when you are goal setting and when you are crafting your visions, and if you have read Reality Transurfing and you've created and you're running your target slide, it can become easy when some of those moments start to manifest to really make a mess out of things and end up delaying what you're wanting. You can look at some athletes and celebrities where it was like a 20-year journey to get to that success. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our own paths, but I want to go the one of least of resistance and the one where is the most joyous. And so for some of those people who took a long time to get to success in any career, celebrity, pro athlete, or like entrepreneur or anything, I think that inside of there, it's often the composure that we and they have or lack that causes that, because we've also seen other people who become wild overnight successes in ways, and in other ways not. Like it looked like an overnight success and then they blew up, but they had a lot of work before. But there are other examples. Hank Williams is the one that really reminds me of someone who is like, he's the kid who's Yodel Boy, who's like super positive and like put himself out there, took action, and the world fell in love with him because he was bringing his gift and he was doing what he was meant to do, and he was doing probably what he had visions and what he was thinking about, and he was just so innocent, and the world hadn't calloused him in such a way where it was just going to happen. And then he goes from Walmart to Coachella. And while I don't have like science to like back that up, right? You can look at certain examples with celebrities and athletes and people that are popular that everybody knows, and sometimes there are longer journeys, sometimes there are shorter ones. I want to look at the shorter ones and find what really made those happen. And when you talk to those celebrities and athletes and people who've accomplished those things that are important to you, you'll often find that you'll hear their stories laced with those moments where it was almost there and then they dropped it. They got in, they got the deal, and then it fell apart. And so when you hold your composure and you maintain it, you can actually get to a point where your goals are something that are still exciting for you, but you have this calmness and this expectation of them happening. And when you can find that intersection, I think that you'll find a lot of joy and a lot of good fortune along that path. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't read Reality Transurfing, there's a link in the description, depending where you're watching this, so that you can go and grab that. I recommend the physical copy, underline it a bunch, go through it. It's a thick book, but it's one of the books I've had the most fun reading. It's an easy read, and it really puts some of these bigger concepts into really digestible perspectives that you can take and actually implement in your life to get any scenario and into any reality that you're wanting in life. If you like this video, then you'll love some of the other stuff I have for you. I've put some links in the description and at the end cards, of course, at the end of this video. But subscribe and follow wherever you're watching this so that you can get more helpful videos to help you to live the dream. Things on time management, high performance, starting and growing a business so that you can get time free, and how to get anything that you want through these principles like Reality Transurfing and other ones that I present every day here on this channel. I want to know, where are you creating importance in your life? You can be general about it. You don't have to be super vulnerable, but let me know in the comments so that I can get a feel for where you're at with this, and so that I can maybe provide more helpful videos for you from Reality Transurfing or other resources and ideals that I've learned and implemented, and to share them with you so that you can have an easier journey and so that you can do that thing that is your purpose so that you can live that dream. If you loved this, head over to whatupjeremy.com/subscribe. I send out resources, tips, and we do giveaways with best self journals and one-on-one mentoring. And so if you want that delivered directly to you and to hear about some of these videos that don't go up on my YouTube channel, or to get them before they do, go and subscribe over there. You'll be in good hands. You'll be with a lot of other people who are working towards high performance and living their dream. And so one of those steps along the process is you got to change who you're around. So you can do that by heading to whatupjeremy.com/subscribe, and you can start to get mentored directly through your inbox and get helpful content delivered to you so you don't have to rely on whatever platform you're watching this for this to come into your reality. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.